Hello, everyone. We just got out of the movies for Terrifier, and the great thing was seeing this on the big screen really makes a huge difference. We are the HorrorKats Super Show, and Star is here with me. We both came. It was an incredible experience. And Star, what are your thoughts from seeing it on the big screen?
I love this movie. I was so hyped to see this. I was so glad it came out in re-release. It was everything and more. If you're a sick fuck, this movie is the one for you. If you guys have not checked it out, you need to come and check it out. In the theater, I think is the best place to see it. We had an interesting crowd there. We had some people yelling and screaming in there, so it was fun. I had a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah. We sure did. Not I know me when I first saw Terrifier, I saw it on TV. I saw it on a streaming service. So there's probably not a lot of
Yeah.
people that actually got to come and see it in a theater. But the whole theater experience really takes any type of movie like this to a different place. Why? Number one, obviously you get the great sound, you get, the darkness, you're sitting there among strangers. But also number two, I mean, we were laughing at certain points because
The whole
we kind of really enjoyed just the experience of watching others. Because it sounded like the people who were in front of us, like the four or five people that were in front of us, hadn't seen this movie before.
Yeah, there were some people in the theater I think had never seen it before. You're right, and they were just having a freak out time. Like it was. That's the way you're supposed to experience things,
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, they got all kinds of noises and squirming and yelling, and it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to see that in the theater, or they released it finally because they had never released it on the big screen.
Yeah.
So this was fun. I hope if they were smart, they would re-release Terrifier 2 in the theater by like Halloween. So then we can
Yeah.
experience that all over again. That would be great.
Yeah,
That
for
would be
sure.
great.
I could probably foresee them doing something like that, knowing that, there's a lot of, craziness going on in Hollywood, especially with the writer's strike. There are probably gonna be a lot of re-releases coming out real soon.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also think we I don't know if it's starting to be a trend, but I'll tell you, having the director writer come on and actually do the beginning of the movie
The
and say a
beginning.
thank you to the fans at the very beginning and at the very end. I'm assuming this is going to be in all theaters. The very end, there's a nice homage that was put together for all of the fans who have done art, tattoos, sculptures, and things of that nature. That was really nice to see because you really
That's
don't
cool.
see a lot of people who are, especially like horror movie directors and writers and things like that, that actually thank the fans at the end of their movie at a
Yeah.
re-release. That was awesome
Yeah.
to see real people with their art, their tattoos, just
Yeah.
showing up on the screen and getting the shout out with their Instagram handles and whatnot. So
Yeah.
kudos to them for doing that. Great,
Yeah. And
great
it
way to
was
end it.
yeah, it was very apparent that he was very appreciative. He understands that because it was released straight to streaming, that a lot of people have made this movie what it is because of word of mouth. Like,
Right.
and now we're gonna be. I've heard they're gonna do the part three. So he's really starting to become that icon that we haven't had in a really long time. I'm excited. I'm glad. I love him. I was completely freaked out the first time I saw this, and I'm not really scared of clowns. They don't really do much for me, like Pennywise doesn't do much for me, none of those things. But when I saw this movie, I was like, holy shit, this is super creepy. And it almost leaves like a ugh for a couple of days after. And then there's that scene.
Yeah.
If you have seen this movie, you know what scene we're talking about. And yeah, the girls in the theater are like, oh my God. To see that on the big screen, that was crazy.
Yeah, definitely worth the price of admission to see that on the big screen, but to see it with
Yeah,
other people who've never seen it before, actually
that was
squirming in
cool.
their seats.
Yeah,
Huge, right? And
yeah,
and I agree with you. I think it's about time we had a really good icon come around. And I'll tell you that, the first time I saw this, I was really unnerved by it. But then you
yeah.
kind of get this, you want to be terrified of the guy, hence the name, but also too, you can't help but laugh at those moments and just be freaked out by just
Yeah.
the horror comedy that kind of comes with the honking of the horn and whatnot, or the faces, or just the gestures. I mean, it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to experience with brand new people. So
Yeah. I
overall,
love
if
it.
you can go out and see it, go see it.
Yeah. I love that he doesn't speak. It just really makes that vibe like he's looking at you and he's staring at you just a little too long and you start to get super uncomfortable and then he smiles like this. It's like
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy. But I
it's
love
definitely
him. I
definitely
love
something that
him.
psychologically stays with you afterwards. There are different ways to scare you and to get under your skin.
Yeah.
And, Terrifier, the original Terrifier really does that for you because there's so many iconic scenes within that movie. So
And you're
great job.
you're saying that you thought it would have been a good idea if they had dressed somebody like that who just walked into the theater randomly at the end or whatever. That would have been,
I
yeah,
would
I don't
have
know.
died. I would have died if somebody walked in looking like that.
Creepy factor? Hell yeah. Blood and gore all the way. If you have a weak constitution, do not come see this movie. Do,
That's
don't
right.
don't accidentally come here and think, oh, this might be a cute little horror film. No, no, no. This is the real McCoy. This is for like this is intense extreme horror. So if you guys are not don't come to see this. Don't be like, oh, this is a first time. No, don't come. Don't bring the kids. Don't bring nothing. This is straight out hardcore horror. If you are into it, this is a slasher extreme horror. That's it. So if you're into that, this is something you should come
Yeah.
see in the theater. And if not, steer clear because you're going to have nightmares for months.
That's right. That's right. This is
I
definitely
love
not
this.
something you want to bring your kid brother or sister to. You need to check it out first, and just don't do this because this is not one of your average horror type movies. This is pretty much gore fest, and I don't know if it's appropriate to say, but this might be this generation's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's
Uh,
really that
yeah,
intense, and
yeah.
would probably be the one that maybe a 12 or 13-year-old, if they saw this, would be the most horrific thing they would probably see, because I don't even think there's anything like this that is close on TV or in a movie lately. So
Yeah.
definitely be careful with who you bring to the movies to watch this with you. Don't do any psychological damage, but also just do your best to come out and enjoy it. If you enjoy this series, if you enjoy anything that has to do with supreme gore or horror or psychological, this is your
This
film.
is for you. Yeah. So one
Yeah.
out of 10, what are you going to give it?
Oh my God. I have to give it I have to give it a 9. There's still a little bit of me that I still see a lot of the old tropes, and there's, especially one of the things that we've seen in the ending credits where, they give special thanks to Wes Craven, George Romero, and Toby Hooper.
Toby
That
Hopper.
was awesome. You see, everything that I watched, and you were probably getting annoyed by me when we were
Nah.
watching the movie because I kept saying, listen to the soundtrack, listen to the music, look at the
Yeah.
lighting. I mean, it just all reminded me of a
But it's
lot of
great.
things,
And
and it's still.
practical. You get all practical effects in here. It's fucking awesome.
Sometimes that CGI stuff just kind of takes you out of it. You do not get
Yeah.
taken out of this movie. Maybe you
Absolutely.
get
It's
taken
all
out of it because of
homegrown.
the. That's
Yeah,
right.
all homegrown. Everybody's working on this. It's a big family. You know, they love this when they went into it. They had a great time doing it. It's super creepy. It for me, it's a 10 out of 10. I love this. I will recommend it to anybody that you want something super gory. This is the film for you.
If you haven't seen this, you need to see this. If you are a horror movie, absolute,
A
uh, you
fanatic,
know,
an
just
addict, a junkie. This
pop
is the movie.
loving type of person. If you're
Absolutely.
in the vein of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or if you're in the vein of any of the grindhouse type of movies, this is your movie.
This is that was one of the things. It pays super homage with the lighting, with the coloring of this film. This is a grindhouse classic.
Thank you for listening to us go on about a movie you probably already know is fantastic. Hope to see you soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you thought if you did go out and see it. And we'll be seeing you again soon.
All right, guys, and remember, until next time, shiver, scream, repeat. See you next time. Bye.
See ya.